The inspiration behind J.R.R. Tolkien's poems. One of Tolkien's quotes was, "I believe that legends and myths are largely made of truth," meaning that real events are what lies behind a lot of fictional literature. Tolkien's collection of writings are largely made up of fictional literature that seems to have many parallels with events that occurred in his life. Tolkien was known for being a devout Catholic. He wrote a poem called The King. In the poem, it contains lines like, "His crown shall be upholden, the streams shall run in gladness, the lakes shall shine and burn, all sorrow fail and sadness." These details directly point to what Catholics believe when it comes to God and how he is considered to be their king. Another one of Tolkien's quotes was, "Faithless is he that says farewell when the road darkens," which has to have some sort of religious thought behind it, because in order to have faith means that you have to have faith in someone or something. In his case, he put his faith in God. While Tolkien was a young man, he decided to enlist into the British Army. He ended up being shipped off to France to fight in the Battle of Somme, which occurred in World War I. One of his poems called "He Chanted a Song of Wizardry" took place in Middle-earth because this poem was meant to go along with his award-winning trilogy, The Lord of the Rings. The poem explains how two wizards are dueling, but their words paint a picture that resembles a war or a battle. Some of the lines are, "Resisting, battling against power, of secrets kept, strength like a tower, and trust unbroken, freedom escape, in Valinor the red blood flowing, the captive sad in Angband mourn, thunder rumbles, the fires burn." The words that Tolkien used encapture a feeling that only a soldier could relate to. Soldiers know that the only reason they are fighting is for their loved ones, which means that they need to be strong, even if it means that they are going to die or be captured by the enemy. After Tolkien's parents died, he lived in an orphanage while going to school at King Edward's. While he was there, he made a very close group of friends, and they called themselves TCBS. After they finished school, they decided to keep in touch. Well, all of Tolkien's friends except for one decided to join the military. When Tolkien was back home recuperating from an infection he contracted while serving in the war, he found out that all of his friends had died. He ended up writing a poem called Lament for Earl the Young. Due to the wording in the poem, Tolkien seems to be talking about a soldier who has died. Some of the lines are, "Where now is the horse and the rider? They have passed like rain on the mountain, like a wind in the meadow." It will make sense for Tolkien to use this poem as a way of closure and to honor the passing of his close friends who died while fighting for their country. Tolkien made a quote about war which said, "War must be while we defend our lives against a destroyer who will devour all. But I do not love the bright sword for its sharpness, nor the arrow for its swiftness, nor the warrior for his glory. I love only that which they defend." This says a lot about his character and how he views the war. This is exactly what you would expect a true soldier to say. In his literature, you do not see him portraying war as a beautiful scene of men killing each other. Instead, he portrays war as a very gruesome event that has to take place for the sake of a nation that wants freedom. This especially is true for his poem, He Chanted a Song of Wizardry. The poem talks about the character of a soldier and how he is risking his life. Tolkien wrote a quote that said, "I cordially dislike allegory in all its manifestations, and always have done so since I grew old and wary enough to detect its presence. I much prefer history, true or feigned, with its varied applicability to the thought and experience of readers. Events that occur in someone's life can be considered history." So this quote helps in proving that Tolkien's writings were inspired by events that occurred in his life.